drug overdoses are up in Arizona. Coming up, how severe is it?
Plus, how Phoenix Sky Harbor is trying to step up their hiring game for the holiday season.
And later, a soccer team with plenty of international flair. We'll introduce you to these players who consider Phoenix their second home.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Alon Andrade.
And I'm Raven Payne. Thank you for joining us.
Drug overdose deaths in Arizona and across the nation reached record levels during the COVID-19 pandemic, according to new data from the Center for Disease Control and Prevention. From March 2020 to April of 2021, more than 100,000 overdose deaths were reported nationally, and drug overdose deaths in Arizona rose 24%. Shelley Mowry, a prevention and education specialist at the Arizona high-intensity drug trafficking area, explains that it's the synthetic drugs like fentanyl and the way the pills are manufactured that are mainly to blame for these increases.
And the way that the pills are pressed, if you think about chocolate chip cookies, right? So if you look at a plate of chocolate chip cookies, not one of those chocolate chip cookies has the same amount of chocolate chips in it. So when the criminal organizations are pressing these pills, they have no idea, how many grains of fentanyl is in one of their tablets versus another tablet. So two people may take a tablet from the same batch. One doesn't wake up, but the other one does.
This year, Arizona legalized fentanyl test strips, which can detect if something has been laced with a synthetic drug. Arizona Governor Doug Ducey said these strips could be a tool necessary to prevent a lethal overdose. The legislation is aimed at fighting the recent rise in overdose deaths in Arizona.
Data shows Arizona is lagging behind other states in vaccinating children against COVID-19. Nearly 41,000 children ages 5 to 11 have been vaccinated against the virus in Arizona. This means only 6.3% of the eligible age group is getting the shot. But a spokesperson for the Arizona Department of Health Services says the number may be higher as it can take several days to report the data. The White House says about 10% of eligible kids nationwide have received a dose of the vaccine since its approval for their age group 2 weeks ago.
According to AAA, more than 53 million people are expected to travel this holiday season. And if you're one of those people heading to Sky Harbor, it may take a little longer to get your coffee. Cronkite News reporter Carolina Hassett tells us how companies at the airport are feeling the impact of staffing shortages.
Sky Harbor has hosted multiple job fairs in an effort to fill vacant spots. A company that handles baggage and air cargo has hosted about 15 job fairs this past year. And while some have been able to fill positions, it may not be enough before the holiday season.
It's very slow. We definitely, honestly, the first one, there's maybe about 20 people total that showed up. There have been a little bit more this time, but even still, it's not quite what we were expecting.
More than a dozen companies who handle everything from rental cars to your Starbucks coffee are rushing to fill all those jobs that make air travel easier. Staffing shortages have especially hit customer service jobs.
When we only have, say, 65% of our operations or restaurants and retail open, that's a third of the shops and restaurants that our customers can't use.
And it isn't just filling those positions. It's about trying to keep the employees.
I think everyone is pretty much seeing this struggle. At first we were dealing with the unemployment. Now we're just dealing with trying to get people to come and work and actually come and stay.
And while this is one of Sky Harbor's job fairs, some companies have seen low turnout despite hosting their own fairs individually.
It's been kind of slow. We have made 5 offers here today, which is pretty good. We were hoping for about 5 to 10.
Sky Harbor says at least 35 people were hired on the spot at the event. And while the fairs seem to be working, some question if this will be enough before the holiday travel season.
We're definitely still on the hunt, with the holiday seasons and everything coming up. People are starting to travel more. So definitely we're looking for more staff to be able to fulfill those customer needs.
The union that represents a lot of the customer service workers at the airport is voting today on whether to strike over the Thanksgiving holiday. Airport concessionaires worry that the strike will make staffing shortages worse, which will impact travelers who are going to be here in less than a week. At Sky Harbor Airport, Carolina Hassett, Cronkite News.
Today, thousands of Central American and Haitian migrants are marching to Sonora, Mexico. Activist and former Phoenix resident Irineo Mujica is the leading caravan. He set out in late October in the Guatemala's border. He intends to assemble an even larger caravan today in Veracruz. This new caravan comes as President Biden, the Mexican president, and Canadian Prime Minister today for the North American Leaders Summit. The meeting is the first NALS summit in 5 years. Experts in the U.S.-Mexico relations say the timing cannot be coincidental. Tony Payan, director of the Center for the U.S. and Mexico at Rice, believes these caravans are distracting.
It's important to get Mr. Lopez Obrador's cooperation on stopping these caravans so they can focus on the broader aspects of the binational relationship.
The Mexico National Institute of Migration issued a statement about the caravan. It says in part, quote, "The migrant caravan put at risk the physical health and psychological integrity of the people." Mujica told Mexican news outlets they will not stop. Some migrants have already hitched rides to the U.S. border.
ASU students and teachers are trying to bring awareness to climate change. When we come back, the unique techniques they're using to accomplish it.
And we're hoping for clear skies. We'll explain when you can see the longest lunar eclipse in centuries.
Cronkite News is more than your local news station. Through our innovative ideas, we create new ways to connect with our viewers and have their stories be heard. Our cutting-edge technology allows us to take a deeper dive into seeking the truth and delivering new perspectives. Stay up to date on top Arizona stories anytime on TikTok, Twitter, and Facebook at Cronkite News.
It's prime time on your time. Watch Prime Afternoons every weekday on Arizona PBS. Did you miss a show in the evening? Then catch up on Prime Afternoons, your favorite dramas.
No more bloody heroics.
Antiques Roadshow.
Really?
Nature and Nova.
It's time to reintroduce some wonder into this miracle of nature.
All of the best from PBS on Prime Afternoons. Weekdays starting at 1:30, only on Arizona PBS.
Every day I wake up, my first thought is, how can I serve this community?
The biggest hurdle was not taking PTSD personally.
Would you welcome, please, the amazing.
Everybody that watches this, they say that I am the greatest that they've ever seen.
Here we go, lights up. Whoa.
As artists, we conduct our educations in public. You can never know whether it's going to be a success. One just has to risk it.
It's you and the work and the place. It's a very particular relationship.
Here's our lens. Tell us what you think.
Friday night at 9 on Arizona PBS.
Some ASU students and professors are trying to bring awareness to climate change through the arts. Alexa Gliddick has more on this unique event.
Today, ASU joined an international event called Climate Change Theater Action, and they held plays, readings, and film screening in an attempt to bring awareness to climate change.
ASU student directors choose 3 plays after an international call for playwrights on topics related to climate action.
I'm interested and most passionate about theater that intersects with issues of justice and equity. And I personally am learning more about how each one of us can be responsible for reducing our carbon footprint.
The play ranges in topics from climate change deniers and features a giant penguin to a comedy fairy tale. Event organizers think performing arts is a unique way for people to listen and become more involved.
I think the arts is the perfect way to spread the word when it comes to climate change, because we can get people to laugh, we can get people to feel how it is affecting them on an emotional level, then they might want to take action.
The event, which happens every 2 years, was free and open to the general public.
Action you believe you need to take.
In addition to the plays, they showed an excerpt of a digital production of Weathering the Storm. Stephen Beschloss produced the film and hopes it has an impact.
Of course, our goal is, of course, to be able to attract as many people as we can to come and experience it. Again, we're living at a moment where we don't want to be exclusive. We want to create sort of maximum access, maximum opportunity for people to connect with.
Misha Espinoza hopes people will be more than just entertained.
I hope people come to the event and they laugh and they cry a little and they learn a little bit more about what's happening in their community.
There is a climate change theater action events happening across the world in Europe, Africa, and South America through December 9th. In a newsroom, Alexa Gliddick, Cronkite News.
Arizona night owls are in for a surprise in the sky. That's because the longest partial lunar eclipse in centuries is expected to be visible early Friday morning. The eclipse will be visible around 12:30 a.m. Arizona time and will reach maximum coverage around 2 a.m. Lunar eclipses occur when the moon moves into the Earth's shadow. This causes the moon to turn a dark orange color, sometimes called a blood moon. The moon will be the furthest away from the Earth that it's been in centuries, which is why this eclipse will last so long. Lowell Observatory will live stream the event on their YouTube channel starting at 12:15 in the morning.
More warm days and cool nights are ahead of us, but you might be able to leave the sunglasses at home. Alyssa Stoney is in the Weather Center with details.
Happy Thursday. I hope everyone has had a great week so far. Let's take a look at what our highs are going to be for tomorrow. In Phoenix, we'll be at a high of 83 degrees and 83 down in Tucson as well. Most of the southwest region is going to be in those low 80s for our high. But as we move up north, we'll be cooler with 60 degrees as our high in the Grand Canyon, 58 degrees in Flagstaff, and 73 degrees out in Kingman. Now, there is going to be some clouds across most of the state into the weekend. As you can see, by Saturday afternoon, Phoenix is going to be covered in clouds, and up in Flagstaff, there's going to be some cloud coverage as well. Now, we do have some chilly mornings and late evenings. As you can see, our low for tomorrow is 54 degrees in Phoenix, 48 degrees down in Tucson, and a cold 23 degrees up at the Grand Canyon, and 26 degrees in Flagstaff as their lows. If you're planning on heading up north, make sure you're bringing lots of layers because it's definitely going to be chilly. Now, as we look at our weekend, we are going to be at a high of 78 degrees on Saturday, 81 on Sunday, and some cloud coverage as I talked about. And then as we move into the rest of next week, we are going to be breaking those 80 degrees highs by Tuesday with a high of only 79 degrees, 75 on Wednesday, and a high of 74 on Thursday for Thanksgiving. There's also going to be some chances for rain on Wednesday, 20% chance, and then a 10% chance on Thursday and Friday. Hopefully we can all enjoy those cooler temperatures in the coming days. In the Weather Center, Alyssa Stoney, Cronkite News.
I'm Evan Osherwitz. Your Cronkite Sports Report is coming up right after the break. We'll take you onto the ASU soccer pitch, which is home to a team, or a family some might say, with plenty of international flair.
Cronkite News is more than your local news station. Through our innovative ideas, we create new ways to connect with our viewers and have their stories be heard. Our cutting-edge technology allows us to take a deeper dive into seeking the truth and delivering new perspectives. Stay up to date on top Arizona stories anytime on TikTok, Twitter, and Facebook at Cronkite News.
It's prime time on your time. Watch Prime Afternoons every weekday on Arizona PBS. Did you miss a show in the evening? Then catch up on Prime Afternoons, your favorite dramas.
No more bloody heroics.
Antiques Roadshow.
Really?
Nature and Nova.
It's time to reintroduce some wonder into this miracle of nature.
All of the best from PBS on Prime Afternoons. Weekdays starting at 1:30, only on Arizona PBS.
Every day I wake up, my first thought is, how can I serve this community?
The biggest hurdle was not taking PTSD personally.
Would you welcome, please, the amazing.
Everybody that watches this, they say that I am the greatest that they've ever seen.
Here we go. Lights up. Whoa.
As artists, we conduct our educations in public. You can never know whether it's going to be a success. One just has to risk it.
It's you and the work and the place. It's a very particular relationship.
Here's our lens. Tell us what you think.
Friday night at 9 on Arizona PBS.
Welcome back. I'm Evan Osherwitz, and this is your Cronkite Sports Report. The Suns hold the longest active winning streak in the NBA, and they extended it to 10 games Wednesday night with a victory over the visiting Dallas Mavericks. Without starting guard Luka Doncic for the Mavs, the Suns had an advantage, yet it took nearly 4 minutes for the Suns to make it onto the scoreboard. They then turned it on in the fourth quarter, scoring 37 to pull away from Dallas. The 10th win wasn't the only exciting milestone on the night, as DeAndre Ayton recorded his 100th career double-double in 186 games, the quickest in franchise history. DA was excited to receive some accolades of his own.
I like it. Gotta get 100 more. Just seeing those like CP break accolades every game damn near. You don't know what he gonna break or history, you know what I'm saying? Just once you keep working and keep getting wins under your belt, some of this stuff counts individually as well.
ASU's soccer team prides themselves on their ability to recruit players from all over the world. Talia Massey explores how the team successfully built such an inclusive culture.
For the Arizona State women's soccer team, it's all about being a family.
This is my second home. When I fly into Phoenix, I'm home.
Despite the variety of diverse backgrounds from countries all around the world, the team has created a welcoming culture. This is just one of the many reasons potential recruits are enticed to come to ASU.
We have an incredible group of women that just embrace the next player and feed the culture into the next player, and they leave already feeling like they're a part of the team. So when somebody feels that comfortable, then yeah, that's where I'm going to go.
Almost 50% of the team is comprised of international players. Assistant coach Joe Chubb heads up organizing the recruits along with the rest of the coaching staff. Although most are eager to move to the States, it may take some convincing to sell them on moving to a different country.
The weather's here is amazing. Our goalkeeper's from Iceland, and she comes for a visit, and I'm like, yeah, go hang by the pool for a little while. And so it's like, okay. The palm trees and swimming pools, it's easy to recruit.
For Ava Von Dersen specifically, she was sold on the amazing facilities at Arizona State.
When I saw all the facilities, and I do know the facilities also back home in the league, I saw all these facilities and I was like, wow, those are basically professional facilities, and I can get my degree.
Language can easily become a barrier when dealing with athletes from different countries. Although most speak some English when they arrive, they learn best by just being immersed in the language. Specifically, learning Coach Winkworth's English soccer terminology is sometimes the biggest adjustment.
When I'm coaching out here, I'll say certain words like, I said, oh, that was a bit dodgy, and then so Alexia was like, Coach, what is dodgy?
But despite all of the factors that go into recruiting an international player, the Arizona State coaching staff seems to always circle back to the word family.
We become their family. So family has good days and bad days. But no matter what, we're in family.
In Tempe, Talia Massey, Cronkite News.
From the pitch to the hardwood, ASU men's basketball is ready to hit the road and take on San Diego State University for their first road trip of the season. The Sun Devils are 2-1 on the year. They got a win on Monday night against North Florida after a gut-wrenching buzzer-beater loss the game before. SDSU sits at 1-1 this year, and ASU will have to look out for Aztecs forward Nathan Mensah, who scored 17 points in their dominant 80-68 win over the Devils last season. The Coyotes entered the week with just one win in their first 15 games, but they managed to double that mark on Tuesday when they got a victory over a division rival in the St. Louis Blues. The Yotes got out to an early lead thanks to Kyle Capobianco, who earned his first goal of the season with a hard slap shot through traffic. Coyote center Barrett Hayton had a breakout performance, scoring his first 2 goals of the year, including a power play marker in the 3rd period, which helped Arizona clinch its first road win of the season. And more good news for Coyotes fans. You can head to the Ice Den in North Scottsdale tomorrow at 11:30 to watch your favorite Yotes in an open practice, which is free and open to the public. Along with being there to coach, Andre Tourigny will host a brief coaching seminar with Valley amateur coaches and be on the ice with his coaching staff 45 minutes early to explain their practice plan and answer questions. That'll do it for today's Cronkite Sports Report. Back to you, Milan.
Arizona recently increased income tax incentives for residents contributing to 529 plans. After the break, how people saving for college can benefit from this change.
Cronkite News is more than your local news station. Through our innovative ideas, we create new ways to connect with our viewers and have their stories be heard. Our cutting-edge technology allows us to take a deeper dive into seeking the truth and delivering new perspectives. Stay up to date on top Arizona stories anytime on TikTok, Twitter, and Facebook at Cronkite News.
It's prime time on your time. Watch Prime Afternoons every weekday on Arizona PBS. Did you miss a show in the evening? Then catch up on Prime Afternoons, your favorite dramas.
No more bloody heroics.
Antiques Roadshow.
Really?
Nature and Nova.
It's time to reintroduce some wonder into this miracle of nature.
All of the best from PBS on Prime Afternoons. Weekdays starting at 1:30, only on Arizona PBS.
Every day I wake up, my first thought is, how can I serve this community?
The biggest hurdle was not taking PTSD personally.
Would you welcome, please, the amazing.
Everybody that watches this, they say that I am the greatest that they've ever seen.
Here we go, lights up. Whoa.
As artists, we conduct our educations in public. You can never know whether it's going to be a success. One just has to risk it.
It's you and the work and the place. It's a very particular relationship.
Here's our lens. Tell us what you think.
Friday night at 9 on Arizona PBS.
A 529 plan is a special investment account specifically for education expenses. The state of Arizona recently increased the income tax incentives for contributions to these accounts. Cronkite News reporter Rob Winder explains how people saving for college can now benefit from this change.
Several years ago, Phoenix resident Mara Linder's work as a divorce mediator prompted her to make a change for her own family.
I'd been doing divorce mediation for a couple years at that point and was getting deeply into people's finances and realized that nobody was saving for the future and definitely not saving for their kids.
With the encouragement of her financial advisor, Linder opened 2 529 savings accounts to help fund the future higher education expenses of her twin daughters, who already have high aspirations.
One loves anything to do with culinary, anything, and she's little Martha Stewart. She's always cooking and presenting and decorating, and she's talked about going to culinary school. The other one has been designing fashion since she's little and has talked about Fashion Institute, but just recently saw Legally Blonde, so she wants to get her fashion degree and then go to Harvard Law.
Even if those plans change, Linder can use the money from her daughter's 529 accounts to support just about anything they want to do.
These 529s are not just for traditional college and university. It's for any type of higher education needs, like vocational training, apprenticeship programs, workforce development.
And the state of Arizona just increased the incentives for Linder to save for her daughter's educations. Previously, residents could deduct up to $2,000 from their state income taxes for all 529 contributions made in a year. And for couples filing jointly, that maximum deduction was $4,000. But now, taxpayers can deduct those amounts for each 529 plan they contribute to in a year.
That's a great advantage for me.
That advantage comes in addition to the shelter these plans provide against the capital gains tax. In normal investment accounts, the capital gains tax will eat away some of the returns on your investments. But in a 529 plan, if that money is used on educational expenses like tuition and textbooks, the capital gains tax can't touch it. Wealth advisor Jay Spector says that remains the primary benefit of a 529 plan, not the increased deduction.
It's still a relatively small deduction, and that alone is not going to encourage someone to save for college through this investment vehicle. It's certainly one carrot that families can use towards contributing.
But Linder, who always itemizes deductions on her tax returns, intends to reap the benefit of that carrot.
I would definitely want to meet that maximum and take full advantage of the deduction, for sure, why not?
In Phoenix, Rob Winder, Cronkite News.
Arizona residents can claim this income tax deduction even if they contribute to an out-of-state plan. And while the new law just took effect at the end of September, you can claim the increased deductions on your 2021 taxes if the 529 contributions are made by the end of the year. For more information, visit az529.gov.
That's it for Cronkite News tonight. Thanks for joining us. For top stories, Arizona at any time, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.